Hello, I'm Dr. Donovan Ton, and welcome to British Lit 1. This video is an introduction to some of the things that you need to succeed, and a little bit of details about why this class matters and why I love teaching it. Whether you find yourself intrigued by the world of something like Beowulf, or the magic of the language of Shakespeare, or even just wrestling with the deep questions that many people struggled with as the early period of scientific discovery emerges, I hope that this semester you will find texts that challenge you, that encourage you to see the world and yourself in a new way. One of the questions you might have at the beginning of the semester is, what is this class? Right? As a survey of British Lit from really beginnings all the way through about 1800, a survey class can be challenging and difficult in some ways because that task is enormous. It can feel almost overwhelming. But there's a lot more to a class like Brit Lit 1 than history, cramming things in, or trying to wrangle with tough texts. At the core, it's a class about developing new analytical and critical thinking skills, about finding new ways of teaching and learning, and finding and appreciating the context of human stories that I believe have significant relevance for us today. That work is more than just doing history. It's critical, it's important for us both now and in the future. What do you need to do to be successful this semester? Survey courses like Brit Lit 1 can be challenging, but you are in control of several of the key success factors that can make your encounter with British literature memorable, transformative, and useful for your future. And so I've listed some of these key success factors below. I think one of the important things that we're going to talk about right from the beginning of the semester is finding ways to what I call care for your instrument, ways to train your brain to slow down, to be able to dig in and be resilient in working with texts that aren't always easy the first time, because we are communicating and reading across cultures and across time. And that is a deeply important work, but also one that can be challenging. And so to do that, one of the things we're doing, there's a famous book similarly called this, what people often call reading like a professor. And it doesn't mean you have to know more, but I often say it means you have to be willing to fail more, to be open-minded, confident, and willing to learn as you read, willing to read focused on practice and coming at things in more than one angle, more than just on mastering it for a test, because that's something that you can't replace. That practice is crucial for your development. To do that, one of the things you'll need to do this semester is to be willing to take risks with the support that you need. In order to do that, you have to be willing to ask questions and to challenge yourself throughout the semester. We won't ask you to put yourself out there without the support you need to be successful, but you've got to be willing to try some new things, because these texts are asking new things of us as readers. And one of the things that can really help you is to see how you can carry skills from this class into your future classes and your future career. One of the big questions that people often have is, why is it important to study British Lit now? And for me, I think that the story that this class tells is one that is deeply relevant for us today. The story of Britain's literature from the 8th to the 19th century is one of profound change. Change that happens socially, with this broad question of figuring out who has a voice, of hearing people challenging the order that's out there to say, hey, I'm a part of society too. I'm someone who wants to make dramatic changes to who has a say in the direction of society. It's a period of dramatic religious change. It's a period of dramatic economic change. It's a period when people's standard of living can change dramatically. The foundations of what their economy looks like changes dramatically. And we ourselves are in similar times with our potential change, whether we look at automation or things in our future. These uncertainties, these questions are things that people have struggled with before, and their examples, their stories are relevant to us now just as they were hundreds of years ago. Why does Brit Lit 1 matter in the future? For some of you, knowing the foundational texts, and again we'll talk about sort of what that means and doesn't mean in British Lit, may be useful, such as for those of you who might be teachers or working in the arts or humanities. For all of us, though, learning how texts come to be considered important, to ask questions about that, to ask questions about who gets a seat at the table, and learning to engage seriously with other cultures. Those are the things that matter for all of us, not just now, but in the future. Throughout this class, you're going to be cultivating skills that are useful not just in further study in English and in the arts, but learning how to relate to other perspectives and other cultures, thinking about these foundations for learning and teaching, to engage with texts in a deep way, learning to ask important questions about belonging, power, and inclusion, for me are some of the most important parts of this class, and to learn and to cultivate skills in communicating well, and just as, if not more importantly, listening well, because that's something that can give you success not just here, but in the future as well. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Again, I'm excited to have you be a part of our class and to learn with you this semester. This is a class where reading together and collaborating together are really important, and I look forward to getting to know you a little bit better. Don't hesitate to check in along the way, whether it's through office hours or just sending me an email. I'm always happy to try to answer questions or to lead you to other important questions along the way, and I look forward to exploring the world of BritLit 1 with you this year.